Happy November, everyone. And I just had to lock the puppy of light out of the office because um, the Amazon delivery guy is here and he went all crazy. But I do want to mention today is his gotcha day. So happy gotcha day to his lordship, Sir Love Stans Christensen. He is such a sweet puppy, except when he's barking like a mad dog when people come to the door. But blessed to have him there. So, anyways, welcome to um this week's weekly energy report. So, this is where oh, by the way, Soul Coach Michele here. And I am your friendly neighborhood super woo and co-creative life coach. And I help people to stop the manifesting misfires, start the manifesting their desires. And I also love to engage in my ancestral intuitiveness. So fourth generation intuitive medium. So we do fun things with cards and talk to spirit and all that kind of stuff too. Good morning, Rose. How are you? I sent you an email back. I responded to you, so I did not forget. Yay. Anyways, but welcome to November, everybody. I'm so psyched to be here. So happy to see you. And we're going to pull some cards for November. Even though technically this is our weekly reading, what I like to do at the beginning of the month is to kind of give an overview of what we can expect. Now, I have not looked at the astrology a whole lot other than the whole Mars retrograde business, which I will talk to you about in my newsletter. If you don't have the newsletter, the link to my website is below. You can click that, and at the very bottom of the webpage is a way to receive some love to your inbox on a weekly basis, where you get the replay for this and some other things and a channeled message and all that kind of goodness. But anyways, so let's get started because so much to talk about. I don't know about y'all, but the energy has shifted, and I feel in a good way because I've been doing a lot of things. I did the warrior goddess meeting this morning, which was lovely, that I attended. It's sometimes nice to not be the head of the table. And there was a lovely, lovely meditation that Heather Ash and Maura did, where we just really tapped into the idea of being, period, of not buying into the whole busyness mentality and really kind of buying into the slowing down, which ironically, I mean, my word for the year was slow down. It is one of the larger challenges that I navigate. That I was raised on busyness and productivity. And so slowing down is a conscious and intentional thing that I need to work on. I'm not sure about you if you feel that same kind of call, but I think society also creates a situation where being busy is like a badge of honor. So one of the things this month, I think that the Mars retrograde is supporting us to do is to slow down, is to do one thing at a time. I think I talked yesterday in the Halloween readings a lot about parties isn't a plural, it's a singular. It was never meant to be like, what are your top 3 priorities? No, priority is one. There aren't 3 or 10 or any of that. There's your priority and then a couple of other things. And when you knock off that first priority, things move up in the world. But I think that's one of the messages. I keep feeling a lot of prosperity coming. We might be witnessing some fighting going on outside, but try not to get in the middle of that storm. Try to stay in observer mode and be where you need to be. Okay. That's kind of the monthly feeling I get. And I'm getting very like pressury. So I feel like the veil is still thin, by the way. So feeling some stuff coming through, but we will go to the cards for all of that. So what we're going to ask is, what do we need to know for this month? What do we need to know? So the overarching theme for the month will be the Hero's Journey cards. So we're going to pull a card for that. So what does Spirit want us to know? This one kind of jumped out, so I'm going to grab it. I love it. So community oriented. Never a crowd on the leading edge. I love that. Never a crowd on the leading edge. So honor those who honor you. Honor those who honor you. So I think part of this month will also be kind of looking around and seeing like, who are the people in our corner? Who are the people that are supporting us? Who are the people that have your back in situations? It may not be the people you thought. It might be somebody you didn't think was there that you're like, oh, I didn't realize you had my back too. That's awesome. Yay. You might be kind of sorting through whose back do you have, that kind of stuff. Like who are the people in our lives that are rising up? Because it doesn't ever feel crowded when we are standing with those who support us, who are our spiritual family. So really understand that your travel partners on this part of the journey for November are there for a reason. They may not be the people you expected to be there, but they are there to support you. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. So we're going to leave that there. Never a crowd on the leading edge. So basically, it's a party with all the people you want to hang out with, which is kind of nice because, sometimes you go to parties and there's people there, you're kind of like, oh, not sure about that person. But this is like November is going to invite in a party where you have all the people that you want to have there. And you might notice there are people that you don't want. Just don't go stand near them. Go to a different party where everybody's there that's going to hang out with you, kind of a thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do for the weeks is, so let me look really quick because some months have 4 weeks, some months have 5. So how many weeks do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, well, this week, we'll just do this week. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5. Yeah, we'll do 5. So what we'll do is the first week of November. What's the energy of that? Let's see here. Okay. Upside down. Oh, clear out the clutter. So, and it's upside down. So frog spirit is all about, cleaning out the clutter. So I think that's a really good metaphor. So when we think from the perspective of our overarching energy is there's never a crowd on the leading edge. So all those folks that are running around with us and leading edge from the perspective of manifesting. So when you receive your manifestation, you don't just stop manifesting, you expand. So we're always on the leading edge, right? So if we are running around with people that are like-hearted in that mindset, then the first thing we got to do is sit around and look around and go, what's going on here? What do I need to get rid of, give away, renovate? That whole, because again, this is a great retrograde card, especially right now, because as Mars stations, we are kind of put in that perspective of I just feel frustrated because nothing is effing moving. So when a planet stations, they just kind of hang out for a while. We have about a week, I think a week or two of that. So it makes a lot of sense where the one thing we can do is instead of getting upset and frustrated because we're not moving forward because Mars is action, and remember, I think yesterday I talked about how it's in Gemini. So look on your chart, on your birth chart, and figure out what house is Gemini in and the elements of that house. And then that is your focus of the retrograde. So of where, you might feel like you want to take action, but you're not going to get too far. So think of it more of, I'm going to focus as from a learning perspective. What do I need to learn about this? So that's part of what this is. So when we are, frog spirit is clear out the clutter, but as we're doing it upside down, it's either I didn't know that, I forgot that I knew that, or I don't wanna. So I'm getting the feeling for most of us is this last two, which is I don't wanna, because who wants to clean up a mess? It's never really fun, but it is something we need to do to make space, right? And it's I forgot that I knew that. I forgot I need to declutter not just my living space, but my inner space. So, like letting go of stuff that doesn't serve anymore. What is laying around collecting dust inside you? Beliefs, thought patterns, behaviors that are not supportive of where you want to go as we kind of move through this. Because remember, this is an experience that's going to head up, going to be with us until the end of January, and then in shadow till March. So it's going to be a minute. So really start thinking as November as like your time to kind of give yourself that space and that permission to slow down and look around. What is the inner landscape looking like right now, so that you can decide, what do I want to keep, what do I want to renovate, what do I want to get rid of and release. Okay, so decluttering is week 1, so that would be this week, right? So my journal, what do I want to release, what do I want to, like, is it feelings, thoughts, behavior? Because again, retrograde inside. So really kind of think of it from that perspective. So let's move on to next week, which would be the 7th through the 13th. So let's see. I'm gonna pull this one. Everybody's upside down. And how funny is that? It's a turkey. Turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace, and upside down. I feel like this is a month of reminders of everything we can be grateful for. Even the lessons that don't feel super awesome, that kick our booties, you can still be grateful for them. So give with gratitude and grace. And also, the upside down is, I also love the whole idea that Dr. David Hamilton speaks to, which is most people, you know how we talk about the opposite of love is fear, right? When most people think the opposite of love is hate, it's really fear. Well, kindness. So that's what Dr. Hamilton says. And I love that. And so I feel like that's something either we didn't think about before. So if you're stressed with the holidays coming, you might be a little stressed. I don't know about you. I'm hosting both. So it kind of gives me a little stress. But if we kind of approach it, where there's kindness involved. So if you're stressed, because maybe you decluttered and you're kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, sometimes I declutter so much I feel empty, and empty can sometimes feel alone, sometimes feel like where I'm not receiving love. When in fact, the emptiness, if we can shift into emptiness, feels like, oh my gosh, there's a vessel that once I that is open and now ready to receive. Think of it like the breath, right? So when you inhale, it creates, like, it takes up a lot of space. When you exhale, it creates a vacuum that only can be filled when you breathe in again. So we're kind of doing that breath in the declutter. And then if you start to feel that stress that comes with that, creating the space, give with gratitude and grace. So go around and say, who can I be kind to today? Might be holding the door for somebody. It might be sending flowers or creating a meal for a friend or something like that. Do stuff that like comes to mind. If somebody comes to mind when you're feeling kind of down and stressed out, and somebody comes to mind that you're thinking about, make sure you take time out and say, maybe even just send them a text to let them know, I love you. Okay. So that will kind of help manage the stress in addition to your normal meditation and yoga and movement kind of stuff. But just remember, kindness is the opposite and antidote to stress for the week of the 7th through the 13th. Okay. Now, we're going to look at the 14th through the 20th. Now, don't worry, I'm still going to do the weekly things. This is just an overview. Okay. This one. Oop-a-doop. And finally, right side up. Okay. So third week, I think it's so funny because we're decluttering, so we're getting a little, even though in a time of kind of confusion, we're gonna do a little bit of clearing, which gives clarity. Then we're gonna create an antidote to stress in the second week of November through kindness by giving with gratitude and grace. And then the third week, which is that week of the 14th through the 20th, we're gonna have Crow Spirit come in to co-create with Spirit. So in as we kind of get clear and we do gratitude. So I think this is really interesting because for those of you who don't know, I did write a book and I follow a pattern with all of my peeps called the 7 steps. I'm starting to transition to the 7 elemental steps so that it's not like, do this first, do that second. It's just here are the elements that support manifestation within self. So if you haven't gotten that book, it's on Amazon, 7 Steps to Manifesting Your Dream Life. But I will be starting to refocus on this, but it's really interesting. So getting clear is like getting centered, which is step 1. Give with gratitude and grace. Step 2 is gratitude. I find that really interesting. Now we're co-creating with spirit through crow. Now here's the cool thing. So the third step is asking, which is all about the voice, all about the throat chakra. And the crow is all about talking and all about speaking your truth and speaking truth. And he's right side up. So he is ready. So it's stepping into that authentic self of you and co-creating with spirit. Because once you clear, and once you start seeing life from a frame of gratitude, you can start calling in the stuff that you want to manifest into your life. And I think people think it's just this process of I write stuff down, I believe, and then it comes. But there's much more. It's a deeper thing because it doesn't matter what you're trying to call in, whether it's money or a car or a love or something. It's all energy. And it all comes back to how we manage our own energy, what we think and vibrationally have within and about ourselves. So that's why the clearing and the gratitude is so important. So that when it comes time to speak out that third week, the 14th, the week of the 14th, we know what we want to call in. Okay. So we're going to be co creating with spirit that week, which I love. I love that. Um, And the funny thing is, like, the full moon happens on the 8th, which is all about, gratitude and stuff like that. So I didn't even look at that, but I'm seeing it now. So the second week when we had Turkey Spirit, which is gratitude, give with gratitude and grace, that's the week of the full moon. How you can't make this shit up, y'all. So let's see. So now we're going to talk about the fourth week, which is the 21st to the 27th. Okay. And here we go, popping out. And we're back to upside down. And this is a card that popped up yesterday a couple times. Use your mind wisely. It's pig spirit with pig with little wings on it and kind of a tutu. But it's use your mind wisely. And upside down again, I want to remind everybody that you have wisdom that goes for lifetimes, wisdom in your bones. Okay. So as we start kind of doing this process of clearing and gratitude and calling things in, generally what happens sometimes is we get a little bit like, uh-oh, if I'm trying to call this in, what's going to happen? And we kind of thwart our own intentions because we start trying to think about the how. We start having our IBSC, the itty bitty shitty committee, show up and tell us why we shouldn't have those things or want those things or whatever. And it's almost like when pigs fly, you're going to get that. But that's not the case. Coming in upside down is a reminder to say to yourself, remind, use your mind wisely. Don't let your mind run away with you. Be intentional and conscious when you are focusing our energy because energy flows where focus goes. So manage your mind wisely. Also, what I also feel is that wisdom is in the mind and the heart. So when we come together in that fourth week of this month and we start saying, okay, I've cleared, I've done with gratitude, I co-creating, and now I am going to focus my energy, use my mind wisely. I'm also going to tap into the wisdom of my bones and remember who I am, right? We each are extensions of the universe. You are divine children of the universe. That's some serious, powerful shit right there, y'all. So we need to make sure that what we are doing is managing and focusing from the perspective of your highest entity self, your highest self, the self that is the expression of source energy, that which you are an extension of. So mind your mind, that fourth week. Now, last and final week, which would be the 28th of November through 1, 2, 3, 4. So through the 4th of December. I cannot even believe. So we're going to pull this one. Oh, Dolphin, this and that are true. This is another card. So frog came up yesterday a lot in the Halloween readings. And pig spirit came up a lot in the Halloween and dolphin. And again, dolphin is coming up upside down. So this and that are true. So what this is a reminder of is I think as we and I cannot push my laptop back any further so that I can fit all these cards. But what it is a reminder of to stay away or to be in awareness of when we are doing black and white thinking. Black and white thinking is either I can have this or I can have that. I can be in this state or I can be in that state. Okay. When the fact is, you can, most of the time, we can have this and that at the same time. So, one of the examples that I like to give is when people want to start their own business and they want to be a much more conscious and intentional business. They might want to be a woopreneur, like a card reader or a healer or LMT or energy healer or something of that nature where they're helping other folks. But they were programmed that, you're not supposed to like your job. You're just supposed to work and do it and make money. And the people that want to be like artists and healers and stuff like that, which I think honestly all art and creativity is healing. But what we're told is that kind of stuff, you don't make money at that. So, you have to still have a job you hate that's a soul suck while also trying to pursue this other. When the fact is that's not true. You might even love your corporate job. I have friends that love their corporate job and they also love participating in metaphysical stuff. So having both things, you can either be of the mindset of I can do both. My corporate job doesn't have to suck and I can also be part of a spiritual community. Or it might even be, you know what? I don't have to work my fingers to the bone at a soul sucking place just to make money. actually, because I'm a powerful extension of the universe, I can both explore creativity, whether it's a healing modality or cooking or art of some kind, and also make money while doing it. Like I can make enough money to support myself through my art of culinary, healing, medical, painting, traditional thoughts of how we think of creativity, stuff like this. So, like, that's a good example. It's also an example of if you're not feeling good, you know, when we get sick, it's, because it's getting to be that time of year that people get the sniffles and cold, flu, COVID, all the things. And so what we want to talk about is you can be in the now and feel like, "Ah, I don't feel so good." And we kind of get focused on that. But if we can also keep the mindset of my body knows how to heal itself. My cells are wonderful miracles that know how to heal themselves. So I am both in a state of positive and high vibrational well-being while I also maybe physically am releasing some things that need to go. So I might feel in the now not so great, but I know that my body is a miracle and it is a miracle of healing. So it knows how to heal itself. I'm going to do all the things I can do to support that. So I'm both in a state of well being and I'm in a state of healing all at the same time. So do you see what I'm saying? So I think that last week, and it's interesting because that comes right after Thanksgiving. So we might be spending, the 24th, which is Thanksgiving in the US, with family and having, lots and lots of like a carb festival of sorts and turkey and stuffing and all of the good, yummy things that come with Thanksgiving, while also navigating like when the family comes together and maybe sometimes people's beliefs clash together. So there's a lot of like energy exchange going on, whether it be nutritionally or conversationally. And then, of course, there's Black Friday with the shopping if that's your jam, or if you're kind of like, I want to sit in my PJs and shop. But there's a lot of stuff going on that last week or the fourth week, which is when use your mind wisely, which when you think about it, is really interesting because not only is it grounded to the wisdom kind of a thing, the wisdom of the years of the ancestors within you, to navigate those family interactions, to also maybe navigate like making sure you eat in a way that works for you, enjoy, but also don't go crazy kind of a stuff. But the other side is Dolphin is coming in to remind you that we can have fun, and that last week might be a week of recovery and understanding and expansion. So I love how this month is going to shape up. Again, the overarching thing is there's never a crowd on the leading edge. So understand also that as we navigate this whole month, we're always going to be surrounded by both people in the physical and our spirit teams that will surround us with love and support, and you'll be surrounded mostly by folks that are also out there on the leading edge with you, and it won't feel crowded. It'll feel comforting. So I hope this has been helpful for you. And again, if you have not received my newsletter yet, you can go ahead and sign up on my website. The link is below. Scroll to the bottom of the page. It'll be there for you to sign up. You get a replay of this, and you also get any insights that I share weekly in the kind of blog style that I write. And then at the very bottom are invitations for us to work together or get together and just kind of chat and see how I can support you. Other than that, right now I feel very at peace right now. In November, it was weird. Like yesterday, it was like, meh, and today it's kind of like, so I do want to send you off with just a loving bit of shared energy that I want to give you here. Just sending you some love, holding you and hugging you. And I know this month is going to be so interesting and so lovely for all of us. But just a quick review. So the overarching, because I'm not at 30 minutes yet, so I have 6 more minutes. Man, I was good this week. Never a crowd on leading edge. Honor those who honor you. So remember to give those, whether they be in person or far away, a spiritual hug when they honor you, and know that they are with you on this journey, especially this month. And then clearing out our clutter this first week. So while the planet Mars is stationing and is kind of like feels like you're in the mud, use this time to declutter. right? It's like a rainy day where you don't feel guilty because it's not sunny or anything. You don't feel guilty staying home and doing house things. So make sure you declutter this first week while we can. Then the second week, which also is a full moon week, which would be the 7th through the 13th. So the full moon is on the 8th. We have Turkey Spirit upside down. I don't remember that I'm supposed to give with gratitude and grace. So again, one of the seven steps is ask, or rather, getting centered, gratitude. Remember, the antidote to stress is kindness. So as that energy builds towards that full moon, we want to make sure that we are um, grateful and in grace and gratitude towards the things we are harvesting. And I'll go more deeply into that probably that week. And then the third week, which is the 14th through the 20th, tap into your throat chakra and speak into existence that which you want. Remember, the words that come out of your mouth are the powerful co-creative things that we work with spirit with. So crow spirit is talk, talk, talk. Crows are all about talking, giving voice. Give voice to that which you want to manifest. So now that you're kind of centered and clear, you want to sit down and say, what do I want? And I want to speak blessing over myself that week. And then the week of Thanksgiving in the US is pig spirit, use your mind wisely. So just, again, make sure we're monitoring where our energy is flowing, where there's our focus, because energy flows where focus goes. So mind your energy. Number two, make sure that you are, because that's the week of Thanksgiving, just be mindful, mind your energy, because again, Mars is retrograde. It is a planet sometimes of that can have people popping off when it's in retrograde without thinking. So as we come together with family during the holidays, that might happen. So just be in awareness as best you can as you navigate that. And then the last week is, I feel it's an integration week because it's saying, remember, we don't live in the black and the white. Black and white thinking doesn't really get us anywhere. It really just actually is very perfectionist. It could be, and it holds us back. So if you can focus on the idea that this and that are true, it's not I have to choose between this or that. It's I can have both. Might have, and I have to figure out how to integrate that together. So knowing that it's okay to have all the stuff. We have all the Thanksgiving goodies, but later we might get back into balance with our eating kind of thing, but it also might be some other choices there that, I'm just using kind of an innocuous example. So, anyways, this is what's going on for this month. So, I hope this was helpful. I hope you love this card reading as much as I loved sharing it with you. And thank you so much for joining me today, those of you that joined. And I will see you next week on Monday rather than Tuesday, because we'll be back to our regular scheduled show on Monday at 11:30 or 11. I think it's 11. I have to look, but it's 11 or 11:30. If you have subscribed and click the bell, you'll get the notice when it's coming. And you'll also, if you click notify me on the little thing, it'll send you a little message saying, reminding you when to show up. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, I'm not quite sure how you do that. I guess you go to the event and click going or something. But I would encourage you to go to YouTube if you're watching on Facebook and click the notify me, because that's much more direct. Anyways, but that's all for right now. And I am so grateful for you guys joining me and hanging out today. I love you so much. Have a great week and just be and strive to be in the moment, strive to be the open vessel, strive to be at peace with what's going on instead of being part of the storm, because I think that's where we will thrive. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you next week, and until then, I'll see you in the vortex. I love you all so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.